Hello, hello, beautiful person watching this. I am so happy that you're here. Welcome back to another Slay the Spire Ascension 20 watcher run. On this channel, I upload my recorded wins with some commentary and general discussion about this beautiful game that we play. So, a pretty normal watcher run here. The watcher runs on my channel have not been doing nearly as well as the other characters, all of them, in fact. So, tell me, commenter, do you dislike watcher? Are you a watcher enjoyer? Is there something about my watcher runs that just aren't quite hitting? It's not that big of a deal though. I will play all 4 characters. Sometimes I'll win as the watcher and I will still upload them, and if it happens to do not that great, I don't particularly care. Because for all of you watcher fans out there, you deserve a little love, of course. Find a fairy in a bottle. It's pretty good. May keep that forever, in fact. And 3 non-attack cards on floor 1. A bit sus there. Gotta kill Gremlin Knob. Gotta find ways to do damage on our Wrath turns. Not interested in any of those. And this is so sus that I actually decided to take 2 here, stay in Wrath, make sure I can kill it next turn, or else it might get a little bit out of hand. An Empty Fist is here. A great attack comment. Upgrades to deal 14 damage, so 28 in Wrath. Extremely good. And a nice finisher for the turn to get you out of Wrath, so you don't take a billion damage. And more trash here, sadly. We have this Foreign Influence card that could give us an attack. Could be important. There's also Like Water, which will be good later, but really bad against Gremlin Knob. And we're really close to being at this elite, so have to definitely consider our immediate future here. I do take the Foreign Influence against my better judgment. And find a wallop, the first click here, that's definitely looking good. Brilliance would also be a fine add. I have to go back here, sadly. Pain is a bit too sus. And Flying Sneeze on the last one, I randomly click, hoping to find it, and I actually do find it. It was like a 1 in 4, I believe. Maybe 1 in 5. And Flying Sleeve is actually going to be huge, giving us a little bit more damage. Reliable damage while we're in Wrath. Now we did find the Lagavulin. It may be the case that finding that Flying Sleeves is why this Lagavulin didn't kill me. Actually true. Not sure that it is, but it could be. Found Glass Knife, so perhaps not actually. Masterful Stab is also here, and that's pretty good. Sound is definitely cooking here. And I did consider taking Headbutt to get Eruption back again, but Glass Knife a bit too much damage. And so yeah, don't normally take that card. I think the watcher doesn't need that. The randomness can be bad. There's no reason to even have the variance when you could just take the good cards and win anyway. But there I was desperate for damage. So no, it's those sort of situations you will see me add unusual cards. And I should probably be adding unusual cards more often than I do. But I tend to be very averse to it. That's probably the last really big thing I need to work on, I would argue. Just when to take cards I don't normally like. I found a Scrawl as well. Scrawl, obviously one of the best cards. Funniest beta art in the game also. Legally Distinct from SpongeBob. Beta art. That's my favorite, probably my favorite joke in the whole Spire. So, the fact that Scrawl beta art is legally distinct from SpongeBob. Point this at the slime. Gotta kill the slime here. It was actually kind of hard for me to see this for some reason. But yep, can kill the slime that way. And managed to block with the Vigilance, which is basically free that turn. Pretty good. Fasting is here. It is a good card sometimes. There's also a prostrate here, and I just found an oddly smooth stone, which gives us 1 dexterity. And I believe we're going against Guardian as well. And we need to find some block cards. So it's a bit early for a prostrate, a bit strange. I click prostrate here. And gotta upgrade Empty Fist, I believe. Could also upgrade Foreign Influence, but there's variance on that. Empty Fist upgrade is really, really fat. Go to a store, probably to card remove, and there's a warship here now. And now we're getting spicy. Can take this warship and upgrade this warship and start doing the divinity thing. It's very exciting. Is it good? I don't know. But trying to take weirder cards. Upgrade prostrate first. That way, with only 2 prostrates and a warship, you can get in to divinity. There's certain thresholds. Amazing, amazing turn 1 there against Gremlin. We were absolutely blessed there. This fight could have been a lot worse. Yeah, the Fairy in a bottle, so we were never dead probably, but boy was that spooky. And we found a fossilized Helix, giving us 1 buffer charge at the start of each fight, preventing the first time we take damage, and a Talk to the Hand, an excellent block card. And the neat thing about this fossilized Helix as the Watcher is that you may choose to take double damage for a benefit. And sometimes getting out of that decision can be hard, and so you may choose to just stay in Wrath if you're only taking 1 big hit, which will then be absorbed by the fossilized Helix. And this is, I actually completely forgot about this. There's a grand finale here, and I have divinity in my deck. So, do I go for the dream? I have a draw potion and a scrawl, so I actually can manipulate my draws. And that's 150 damage, grand finale. Of course I'm clicking on that. So now the plan is be ready to enter divinity and then try to scrawl into a grand finale with the right amount of cards in my hand and then do 150 damage. Does it work out? Stay tuned to find out. So I'm worried about going into Wrath here, trying to see if I can not go into Wrath and still split, you know, the 26 damage, not quite getting there. So do go into Wrath. Could have considered just letting it debuff me, I suppose. Would have been actually pretty reasonable. Not a great hand. I think it actually was right to just let it debuff me. This looks a bit awkward, but it'll be fine. Ooh, where's my block cards? So I can play Flying Sleeves. It is essentially free for the Talk Band. Then pass. And if I play Prostrate here, I will go into Divinity, which is extremely awkward. So I actually have to take 8 here. Oh no, actually only 4. I can, or 6. I can strike. Very good. And now I have exactly Grand Finale in my bottom 3 cards, and I have a draw potion, so I actually can do it here. And Worship. And so now it still has 44 damage left to go, so I can do a little bit more damage before playing Grand Finale to maximize the damage. There we go. So now it's at 1 health, and then I can finish it off. Possibly first ever Divinity Grand Finale on Guardian? Possibly. Probably not, though. A lot of people play this game. And some big cards here, all 3 costers. With our Divinity thing, this Ragnarok looks very good. Having a big damage payoff for going into Divinity is, of course, very important. And we then found a Snecko Eye, and that changes a lot here. Draws us 2 extra cards a turn, can find our Divinity cards more reliably and faster, and We also just took a Ragnarok and a Warship, which are going to be, on average, discounted. Especially the Ragnarok, of course. So, definitely looking pretty strong. There are a few cards in our deck that are very awkward now. Of course, the Foreign Influence and the other 0-cost card that I can't think of. Prostrate, that's the one. But Prostrate will still be good, even blocking for 5 or 7 and getting Mantra, even if it costs 1 or possibly even 2. That effect is very valuable to us. And Ambrosia, which will let us go into Divinity whenever we want. That's pretty good. And got a Protect with our Oddly Smooth Stone that gives us 13 block whenever we want and may cost 0 or 1 that we can keep in our hand. So definitely a bit of a questionable card, but I tend to enjoy more weird cards when I take the Sneko. Just because I feel like I can, and it's fun. Definitely interested in just trying new stuff whenever I can. And I knew I was always going to break the buffer charge here, so I didn't play Vigilance. Tried to draw better stuff instead. And we are frailed now, sadly. Can't full block here. The Protect low rolling here, it can do that, of course. And that's a bit awkward. But on average, it'll probably be fine. And it's no big deal if just chilling there, of course. Some ugly mana cost or energy cost there, but made it out. And Wallop is here. Excellent Sneko Eye card. Good for our big Divinity turn. Can go into Wrath as well and block. Pretty good. Managed to hit the bird 3 times, so it can knock it down now. None of these cards great. This isn't upgraded, so it will cost the full amount, sadly. And Worship and Protect 3 cost. Oof. The Doubters are currently winning, but just you wait. Doing a bit of math. Just make sure I block for enough to not have the buffer charge loss on the first hit, and then I'm good to go. And Swivel is here. Another card that I tend to pick more often when I have Sneko Eye. It may cost a low amount, and then you may be able to discount a high cost attack with it. And if it doesn't, then it's just one of the cards you low rolled on, and that's fine. Gains a bit of block, a bit more than usual with the Smooth Stone, of course. Moving a card. Bend goes still, it seems. I've talked to the hand. And Fossilized Helix. Scroll costing 2, a bit too awkward, I would say. Just wait and draw 7 cards next turn. And there are a lot of really, really insane cards. Of course, a lot of good 3-cost rares for the Watcher that normally are a bit of a tough sell, just because they cost so much, but with Sneko Eye they become extremely good. Haven't seen a Vault yet, as well. We are doing the divine thing, truly, here, so it's all working out. Buying Worship, I mean, that's a decision a year ago, 2 years ago made, or 2 years ago me would have never made. It's just unthinkable. But of course you can. Just have to find the right time. It's not necessarily correct to play the Worship if it costs a low amount. Like 1. You may value the ability to go into anything whenever you want more than getting the energy out of the way right now. If I, for example, had played 2 prostrates, or like I wanted to play a prostrate later, right? Let's say I already play 1 prostrate, then I play the worship just because I can. But the next time I prostrate, I am always going to go into Divinity, which maybe I don't want to if I just want to block. So it may be reasonable to not do that. Much to think about. And we take a Lizard Tail as well, giving us a extra life. To heal to 50% health the first time we take lethal damage now. And we also have a Fairy Bottle, so we are truly building up a fortress here. It's going to be very tough to take this blind girl down now. And our potions are so good, not interested in taking that one. It's fine to skip potions if you have really good potions locked in. If you are confident you're at a point where you won't need the power, of course. And Gremlin Horn is here, giving us 1 card draw and energy every time we kill any enemy, including minions. Very convenient timing walking into a Gremlin leader fight here. Absolutely love to see that. And I actually played too fast here. Always draw your cards first, kids. Definitely a big mistake there. Could have immolated and killed both of the minions and actually got to block as well, so definitely a significant mistake. Won't be too big of a deal here, but it could have been, and that's what matters. So I have Swivel cooking here, costs 0, so I can play this Eruption for 0 that actually costs 3, which is extremely good. And now it's the end of Wrath. Almost played this Talk to the Hand, but I realized that it doesn't actually cost 0. Have to make sure I remember this. I wish there was a little indicator of what the actual cost was. That's getting a little bit too in the weeds possibly from a dev standpoint, but it really matters like which one costs what for real when you have Swivel up. And yeah, hard to tell. Got there on the block, even in Wrath, hasn't gained strength yet, and then we can just kill it with Immolate. So the Foreign Influence is still making an impact. You're seeing the cards come in. It's actually kind of wild. And Find the Sands of Time, which is really good. Usually costs 4 energy, and if we happen to... The lowest roll possible is still better than the normal Sands of Time, which is already a pretty good card. And when you have Divinity going on and you have Snecko Eye, boy is it way better than normal. We found the Talk to the Hand Ragnarok here, that's really good. That's actually a great block combo. It's amazing. Overblocking a bit here actually. And I probably want to not play attacks because I have Swivel. I can keep the Swivel for next turn. That damage didn't matter that much. Not in Wrath or anything. Can't get into Divinity, but I can probably go Wallop first to make sure the damage goes through, because this enemy has Malleable. And then I can Ragnarok second, which will block for a lot again. And next turn it will debuff us again, so we have a free turn. Just making sure we block for enough, not necessarily playing the most amount of damage. Doesn't matter. And great looking study here. Nice expensive power we can put into play with our Snecko Eye, randomized cost, and extra card draw. But unfortunately, the insights it gives us will also cost a random amount, making them much worse than normal. Be careful out there, kids. And a disgusting hand here. We can only play 1 card, really. And Worship goes up, as I'm probably not going to be able to play it later, and I'd like to redraw for a better cost so I can actually go Divine against this enemy. And another disgusting hand here. Definitely some bad hits from the Snecko here. Protect, Miracle, Defend, blocks for the most. It's probably a good place to start. And hope that it stops happening, and it's still happening. This hand's also pretty disgusting. Oh, and this is the worst blunder I've ever made on this channel. Please close your eyes. I thought that I was in Calm for some reason, so this would have been basically free. I could have played Vigilance to get out, but that's not how that works, so I actually have to use Ambrosia here to get out, because that would be really bad. And then I can play Vigilance, of course, with the energy gain from Divinity, so... Absolutely massive blunder, a run-losing mistake, to be sure. Probably the kind of thing that most people are talking about when they say, like, they can't win with this character, is that sort of thing happening. Just getting stuck in Wrath and dying. I tend to not do that so often, but it happens on occasion. And here are 3 absolutely amazing cards for our efforts. We have Wish, which gives us some scaling, and it even gives us gold if we want. So most hallway fights would let us get away with that, therefore also getting meta scaling. Then there is Deviform, which will be really good, of course, but we can't quite make use of the energy yet, I would argue. But if we just find 1 fasting, it'll be really insane. And then there's Omniscience, of course, which will double a card in our deck, but not anything quite amazing yet to double. The Ragnarok's really good if we can get into Divinity that turn, but that's a bit ambitious as well. So I take the Wish after all. A lot of gold from that. Gonna go to some stores later. And a lot of power in fights. The strength especially is gonna scale really insane with the Ragnarok Divinity thing. Just that one. If we upgrade Wish and Ragnarok, that's a 18 times 6, I believe. And then plus the strength, so actually 30 times 6. My god, it's insane. It's a pretty awkward looking fight here. That is 8 3-cost cards in my hand. I remember this just like it was yesterday. We have Vigilance, which we can full block with because we have buffer charge. But is that really what we want to be doing? That's the hand we have next turn, essentially. And now my entire hand is 3 cost this turn. Boy, is that bad. I see the line, Ragnarok, which will actually proc Sundial here, giving us more energy. And then we can protect as well. So that was almost absolutely terrifying. But we actually managed to fake it through by the skin of our teeth there with that horrible Snecko draw. I'm sure you saw that and were like, how are you not dead here, right? I think that was my initial reaction when I drew that hand. But there was a way out. Remain vigilant. And considering what cards to play, of course, any non-attack card I play will put a Daze in my deck, which could be bad. Keep the Sands. Try to draw the Wrath, of course. And I even get to Wish for gold, it seems. Made it after all. And now the fasting is here after I just declined a Deviform, like literally last 4. That's so sad, but it's okay. The Wish is still good. But I just happen to really like playing Deviform. So it's a bit sad. It was a bit sad to me personally that I skipped it. I think it's a really cool card. It's like the exact kind of power fantasy I have in games. When I play, you know, I like to play ramp decks in, you know, Magic or whatever. Gaining energy equals fun. And then I pass the fasting and I find orange pellets immediately after that. My god. This string of unfortunate events that's occurred in the last few floors has been crazy. So of course the fasting debuff of losing 1 energy per turn would be removed by the pellets. And that's why it's a great combo with fasting. But I didn't take the fasting because I didn't know I was going to get orange pellets, and then I got orange pellets. Took them even though I don't even have the fasting, by the way. Will be good later, probably. And into the collector. Have to consider, is it worth going into Wrath here? I could even play Empty Fist if I want. But I might just stay in Wrath, yep. Surely I find my way out, right? And this hand is not as insane as it looks. I played Swivel last turn, so all the attacks actually don't cost 0, probably. Still a pretty good hand, though. For sure. found our way out. Can scroll for 0 and see what I draw. That is a lot of 3-cost cards. Again, the Snecko Eye is not cooking. Snecko, baby, what are you doing to me? Can play a 0-cost Ragnarok here, but I don't have Talk to the hand in play yet. It's a bit awkward, and there's no way out of a Wrath here, actually. So that's a bit unfortunate. In full block, though. Definitely pretty good. So a surprising number of block that I'm creating here, I would say. Doesn't seem like I should be blocking as much as I am. And I play the Worship while I can, one of those awkward 3-cost worships, so I'm interested in going Divine at some point. And luckily, I think, it is making minions. So try to find the Worship again, and then do the thing. Also, I was interested in drawing Eruption here, of course. Had to get rid of the Ragnarok in order to find that Eruption, and still lost the coin flip there. It's very sad. But here, it's kindly not hitting us, so shouldn't be too bad. Can just kill it, it seems. I have a lot of energy. Where did it all come from? Made it through the Collector. And Vault. Snap pick that. Spirit Shield also pretty good, actually. But that's Vault, so we're gonna click that. Good enough even when you don't have Snecko Eye, and when you do, boy is it insane. And I'm actually interested in... So I could take 5 random cards or 3 random upgraded cards, and I'm actually interested in card quality here. So go ahead and get rid of 3 strikes, probably. And a Wish Plus and a Vault Plus are excellent hits there, I have to say. Flurry is unexciting here, but it's fine. Basically a strike. So we replaced the strike, quite literally. The upside of getting it back will only matter if it costs 0 or maybe 1. In most cases, it's just a strike now. But the other hits, boy, are those insane. So suddenly you're going to be vaulting and wishing quite a lot. That's a Ragnarok, probably going to play that. I have Empty Fist for 0 to get out whenever I want. Very important. They may just be dead though. Do have the Gremlin Horn drawing us cards and gaining us energy. And get to wish for gold. And that reminded me that I have wishes in my deck, so I'm going to not kill this. That way I can wish for gold again. Excellent. And that is 60 gold to fight. Holy moly, that's a lot of gold. And another Civils here. I'm going to refuse that one, I believe. Not as good. Could have considered Gambler's Brew there over the Miracle Potion. Actually, definitely should have taken that with Snecko Eye. A very good way to re-roll your energy costs that turn, basically. Definitely matters a lot. I'm going to wish for gold again. A little bit greedy in this case, I would argue, but I think it's going to be fine. Should not have played that strike. I had the Foreign Influence. Actually, also a pretty big mistake. Missed stake. And still interested in wishing for gold yet again. Possibly a little bit greedy, but... can do it. Just have so many vaults. Oh my god. And I see a Tantrum. And I have 2 copies of Wish, notably. So that's... that strength is being multiplied by 4. And it may be the case that just playing Tantrum once while you're in Divinity with 2 wishes in play is enough damage for it to be worth picking Tantrum, even though we're not doing the Wrath thing, arguably. It's not entirely clear whether it's correct to click that here. I think if I had a fasting, it would have been correct to click it. And also, we're not really arriving on the Divinity thing yet. So, like, we have the Worship, but we haven't found any other Divinity cards. If we never find another one again, that'd be really awkward if we were trying to lean into it. So I'm hedging my bets by taking the Tantrum, and it might just be good enough anyway, considering how much strength we have. But the problem is with that line of thinking is we don't always have the strength in every fight because we're going to be wishing for gold because it's correct to do so. So then do we want the Tantrum in those fights? Does it matter? These are the questions you have to ask. and they are all so hard to answer. So again, like, this is a zero-cost warship. There's actually no reason to play it, really, unless I need hand space. So why not just keep it? And I consider breaking my buffer charge here to apply Talk to the hand. I probably won't take damage again if I just play this Talk to the hand. So why not just use the buffer charge now? Get that in play. And I do have Prostrate and Warship and Scroll in my hand, so this is going to be an absolutely brutal turn for your boy, the Guardian. So I'm playing every card that I sort of can play. That's not that big of a deal. The Wrath cards would remove me from Divinity, so I play them. And I draw a whole new hand. I found a Calipers. It's very fascinating. If we gain enough block, we will only lose 15 block at the start of each turn instead of all of our block, and so can actually start gaining a lot of block. Usually gets quite good with many copies of Talk to the Hand, or Mental Fortress and stand swapping stuff. Can generate obscene amounts of block. But we're currently not quite getting there. We're blocking pretty modestly, I would argue, at the moment. And Transients here shouldn't be too bad if we can just stay in Wrath. Actually gaining strength once against the Transient here. A lot of respect for this enemy. Could do a lot of damage. It's so funny the way this fight is. It's one of the more polarizing fights. Sometimes this is actually just a target dummy, and sometimes it is the most threatening hallway fight in the entire run. It's very rare that that happens, though. That sort of deck doesn't happen very often. How did you make it here if you can't deal enough damage to Transient, right? That's sort of the way it feels. But it happens on occasion, to be sure. I've had it happen. If you stay in Wrath, it is hitting you for double damage, but it will also lose double the damage that you deal, and you're dealing double damage. So, unique interaction with the Transient here. Just had to find the Wrath card and make sure we draw our attacks, and then we can never take damage. Dealing way too much damage. And I get to juice the numbers on the Fossilized Helix a bit here. It's at 89 damage related right now. And pass with it up. That right there, by the way, is why you should not take any statistic or data point at face value. If you looked at this run at the end and saw that that had blocked for a certain amount, you could be like, oh my god, that's insane, that's so much. But then something like that could have happened and you have no idea. Metaphorically speaking. Be careful out there, kids. Very interested in going Divine here. We did find a Prey now, so we can actually finally go Divine on our first draw, assuming none of the cards are unplayable trash because of our Snecko Eye. And Warships here could just go Divine right now. Problem with that is I have 2 Vaults in my hand, and may want to go play the Vault first, then set up more before going into Divinity. Because the slow debuff that says the Giant Head takes more damage every time we play a card will actually persist if we Vault. So you can keep stacking more and more and more with the Vaults until you eventually deliver a huge killing blow. I'm actually respecting Giant Head a lot as well, it seems. Surprised that I gained or didn't gain gold there. But putting respect on Giant Head's name here, not interested in dying for no reason. And yet again, we still have a buffer charge, so even if we couldn't kill it this turn, it wouldn't be too bad. And we find a peace pipe allowing us to remove cards at campsites instead of one of the other options. That's uniquely good on the Watcher, generally speaking. The Watcher likes to go infinite and or have a small deck very often. And card removing at campfires can sort of accelerate that at a level that's not quite balanced. Very, very strong. But of course, you have to be strong enough in the first place to get away with doing so in place of upgrading or resting. And that takes some finesse, of course. And here it's not that amazing. I would rather upgrade a Talk to the hand here, in fact, for more block. We do have a Calipers, so if we can gain a lot of block, that'd be really good. And could get rid of a basic here, but I could also get rid of this Flurry, which is almost a basic. And it actually gives us 5 health back, because it's not a common, or it is a common and not a basic card. And definitely considering going to the store to my left, has 458 gold. And there's another campfire afterwards as well. Meat on the bones here, gotta key it. No big deal anyway, we're rather healthy here. Deviform is here, I can click that very comfortably. Pretty happy about that. And there's also a Damaru, which says at the start of your turn gain 1 mantra, and we happen to be doing the divinity thing here a little bit. So just gain 1 mantra a turn. Yet again, it could be awkward if you happen to be at 9 and not want to necessarily go mantra or into divinity on your next turn, but more commonly it'll just help you get to that middle point where you can play your cards and it's good. Normally your relic doesn't do much, but if you are doing the divinity thing, it is a good relic. And a common one at that. Definitely not too bad to click it for 158 gold. And we do not click Handrill on this channel. That relic sucks. Sorry, Handrill fans. And I don't card move just in case there's something really good at the next shop that I could perhaps buy. I should consider keying here, probably. None of these upgrades are amazing. None of the energy upgrades do anything because we have Snekoi. So it's like Ray, Deviform maybe, in case it's unplayable one turn, we can get it back later. Unclear, but toking is good, of course. Ship cost 3, it's very sad. Prostrate, Miracle, Vault. I'm very interested in going Divine here, it would seem. Double Wish for gold, probably. Not respecting Spire growth at all. Deviform, probably not necessary here. Pretty good. And Wheel Kick is here. Just a nice, big damage that also draws cards. We've been missing a card like that in this deck, I would say. Very good on our Divinity turn. Especially now that we have this Deviform, we can really use the energy when we draw those 2 cards. And also taking Nemesis very seriously here. Gain the strength, Vault. Try to kill it as fast as possible. Not messing around with this guy, to be sure. And find Fiendfire. Yet again, this card is cooking for me. That's so funny. I mean, I didn't need it. I had a Wheel Kick in my hand, but like, it looks cool. I like it. We get this fight. Definitely a very fast fight. If we draw badly, it could be very awkward. But, I mean, I went to the question mark to get something good, right? If I'm not taking this, then what am I doing? And a bit of an oof here. Sadly. Just probably going to play Deviform, to be honest. Could Vigilance, but I have a buffer charge, so I would actually take 2. The buffer charge would go away and take 11 anyway. And so blocking here, unless I'm managing to block for more than 11, or 11 or more, won't do anything. Just play Deviform and pass. Deviform. How do you pronounce Deva? Comment below. And Vault is really insane with Deva form, by the way, because it gains you an extra turn with it. Pretty good interaction. And then I realized I can just go Divine here, and I should have right away. I can even probably wish for gold now. I know that I'm about to leave Divinity if I vault. Of course. Didn't want to mess around with that fight anymore, it seems. Got a key, of course. We are A20H channel. And yet again, so this deck is actually kind of defectish. I mean, every class can scale, but it tends to, the play pattern that I tend to get is the defect is kind of like the first few turns can be very awkward, but eventually you scale so hard that like you are literally way too strong to kill the enemy. And this is that sort of thing where we just have a few turns to let Deva form do its thing and put both wishes in play. Like, how can we take damage? But this turn 1 is extremely awkward, of course. Gaining strength yet again. And so yeah, just take 12. Yet again, we have the buffer charge. Pretty ugly hand, but do have Prostrate to go into Divinity if I want. I can always vault out. Interested in just drawing Deva form, it seems. Oof, that's bad hand. Protect cost 0 though. Notably. Just hoping for some good draws someday, and we'll be totally fine. There's a good one. Vault for 0 is very nice. And now we have Deva form in play and Divinity. So much energy. Ragnarok's in hand doing 42 times 6 damage. My god, it's insane. We have the power of God on our side all of a sudden. How can the Spire ever possibly handle it? And time meters here. Yet again, gain strength. The strength is just really important to actually close out the fight. The block is also pretty good, but it just, we can't break the block. We can break the strength with Ragnarok and Divinity. Would love to have both though, of course. And trying to find a good card that costs 2 or less there, just like a miracle into it. But didn't draw it. And it may seem insane to pass with the Ragnarok here, but don't want to take up that counter. We don't really care about damage yet, I think. Gotta make sure we put our good stuff in play first without awkwardly ending our turn at the wrong time. Vaults are good in theory against Time Eater, but may be hard to actually play enough cards to end at the turn. An argument for playing the Ragnarok, in fact, but I would say usually not the case. And we'll take 12 yet again. So there's no talk to the hand here. Bit awkward. And we're also 1 mantra short of reaching Divinity with the Worship. So did find the talk to the hand, get to Ragnarok for a lot of block, and end our turn with Time Warp, perfectly blocking in fact. You love to see that. And this turn kind of blows into Foreign Influence. Cut Through Fade's actually a really good hit as well. And then that's into Wheel Kick, that's really good. That costs 3 sadly. And I actually do want to draw this Vault next turn, for sure. Play Eruption into Vigilance, perhaps. If I'm going into a Vigilance anyway, might as well weave in the Eruption. But I realize I can split, actually. And so I'm planning on killing within the next 7 cards, or vaulting as the 12th card to do it again. It looks like I'm going for the just kill it route. Would love to stay in Wrath here, so don't want to play this Empty Fist before I vault, probably. Seems pretty important to be in Wrath starting the next turn. Tantrum does 64, that's a lot. And we have enough energy with Devil Form to play all those, so that's pretty good. Also had Stone Calendar, by the way. But didn't even give it a chance to go off. So pretty good fight. Knowing, of course, how the reset works. If you get it below 240 health, then on its next turn it will intend to reset itself back to 240 life and cleanse all debuffs, so you have to kill it on that next turn. But Vault allows you an extra turn, of course. And that's how we finagled our way through that one. And into Act 4, a Deep Pulsing Dread, etc. And remove a defend now, or upgrade a card. Peep the upgrades, see what's in here. Prey is a card. Wallop is kind of a card. It's kind of like 9 more damage, to be honest. It is definitely an attack if I'm going to upgrade something, I think. But also consider Deviform as a... Yep, actually. Just to make sure I can play it. And look at this shop. So I see a fasting on sale, but I'm like, okay, click the orrery first. There's a fasting plus in it. So gonna click that, of course. Orange pellets and Deviform, by the way. And we even find a Spear Shield and another Talk to the Hands. My god, those are some cards. So now Talk to the Hands could be blocking for a lot. And we can even perhaps gain block with Calipers. And I even buy the second fasting. I have pellets, of course, so interested in all the fastings. Actually, probably wrong to buy the second fasting, I would say. Too many slow cards at that point, perhaps. But, it's fine. I wanted to click it, of course. It's fun. Making up for lost time earlier in the run. Oh, and I make a huge mistake here as well. And I don't think I realized, like, I can't get out here. And I thought that it would be fine. But it was not fine, actually. This is a very awkward turn. I do have a buffer charge. But I'm still going to take 40 damage. Very sad. But don't forget that we have Fairy in a Bottle and Lizard Tail. And a very strong deck. So all we have to do is live with those two things long enough to get kind of set up. And then we'll be cooking. No need to worry. Auric Alchemist here, not going to do anything at all. We will probably never have no block at the end of our turn. And a very sad turn here. I've removed all of my cards that just say make block. So I can't block on turn 1 and I have a buffer charge, which is going to get removed. And so this buffer charge could block for 67, but it's going to block for 2 instead. But of course, can't just not play these cards. That's a bit foolish. So I play Talk to the Hand Tantrum first, just to block, it seems. I might play another attack first. And then I actually draw Wish and play both Wishes. And then I'm thinking, like, do I want to play this Tantrum? Because if I get stuck in Wrath, I will just... You know, I may not break Fairy in a Bottle if I get to block next turn, but if I'm stuck in Wrath, I will definitely break Fairy in a Bottle. And that's no good. There goes a fasting. Currently losing Fairy in a Bottle, of course. We're okay with this, but trying to avoid it. Doesn't seem possible, though. And also trying to do good things if we're not blocking. That's pretty important, too. And this is certainly not it. I can get into Calm and gain 5 Mantra. Lose Fairy in a Bottle. Now I can play Fasting and remove the debuff with Orange Pellets. And play Deviform. Now we also have this Tori, which will prevent the damage, it will reduce the damage from 2 to 1 per hit there, so we actually don't even break the Lizard Tail, which was accounted for. And the Divinity Wallop is absolutely massive here, giving us so much block. Now we have Calipers that we can retain it with as well. So just like that, we've made it through, and we are really doing it here. Even if we didn't have Tori there, we'd be good as of right now, so it doesn't matter. Considered, I should have taken Sweeping Beam, actually. It has already taken its turnly quota of damage. No need to do any more. That's 12 strength we have, and Wrath, and Divinity. Don't even need that. And also, by the way, at any point during any of those turns, I could have Flex Potioned and removed the Strength minus debuff with the orange pellets as well. Therefore, just gaining 5 permanent strength, which I did not do. Didn't matter. But missing 10 or 15 damage per attack hit, because I didn't do that as well. Doesn't even matter. Too much damage. And 204 damage from the buffer charge. Definitely don't forget about the transient, of course. That was most of that. And yeah, a cool Snecko Eye, watched her run, felt pretty strong, had some very close calls because of some poor play, but made it through, of course. If you're still here, have you not subbed, have you not liked the video? Thanks so much for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a beautiful day.